said last week that I wanted to talk about some things that I'm excited about, and I've got something else that I'm excited about that others might not be, but I actually am fairly excited about. So one of the things that we are doing some thinking about, some significant thinking about in the next 12 months or so, is some changes to our Constitution and Canons. And people say, oh, that's not very exciting. Well, it depends on how you look at it, frankly. If you look, particularly if you look at the Old Testament, God gave laws to govern the people of Israel. Because without structures and laws, our governance is poor. It is not great. How we organize our common life together, and to make sure that it's fair and it's just and it's good and well done really kind of matters. And that's kind of the model that we have coming in out of the scriptures, of the sense of God bringing order to our common life together. And that's what Constitution and Canons actually do. It brings order to our common life together. Now, there are two things that we are doing, that we need to be doing, that kind of matter. One is we are doing some thinking about how we are actually structured. We currently have 3 governing boards, and when the diocese was I think, larger and had a lot more of actual physical and monetary resources, additional governing boards, I think, were important. Given our current size and structure and organization, 3 might be more than we actually need. So we're doing some thinking about, does this structure actually help us in our mission, or does it add another layer or hinder us in a certain way? And so we're doing some thinking through our Constitution and Canons and asking the question, are we structured correctly for who we are, where we are at this time? A great question for everybody always to be asking. Is this system that's always been in place serving the mission of the gospel, or is it just something that we're kind of maintaining because we've always done it that way? Congregations should be asking questions like that. All organizations really should. It's a very important thing, helpful thing to do. It could help us be more agile, and because the more agile we are, the more we are released, I think, for mission and ministry otherwise. So that's one thing, is just the Constitution and Canons around our structure and organization. But secondly, the province has passed some changes to their own Constitution and Canons around misconduct and how we handle misconduct. Because, frankly, we haven't done a brilliant job of it in the last number of years, and that's been very obvious on so many different levels. And so they've made some changes, and we, constitutionally and in terms of a canonical perspective, have to change things ourselves. But again, this is a great thing to be doing, because as we deal with things like misconduct, which unfortunately does happen in the life of the church, we want to do it well. We wanted to do it efficiently. We wanted to do it thoroughly. We want to do it as quickly as is possible. It's not always fast, but as quickly as is possible. And we want to do it in a way that is fair and equitable for everybody involved, because that's right, that is good and that is true. And so doing these sorts of things, making these changes, actually help our common life together. And also, I think, gives us a sense of confidence that when we see that there's something that could be better or should be better is wrong, we're actually taking the time and effort to make it better. So there's some Constitution and Canons changes to how we deal with misconduct that's going to have to happen, as well as some processes and procedures that we're going to need to get in place. Again, is it the most exciting thing for everybody in the world? No. But does it help us and aid us in the mission of the gospel? Ultimately, absolutely yes. And so that's another thing that we are going to be working on, that I'm excited about in the next 12 months or so. Please pray for the people that are going to be engaged in this work, because it's not a small task at all. And we will really need your prayers.